Welcome to this week's You Oracle live readings with Rebecca. I'm Rebecca and I'm happy to be here with you. I'm going to be doing readings today with my new Oracle, the Rose Oracle, which is officially out next week. The 1st and 2nd of March are the first of the publication days. And I've noticed that it's actually begun arriving in people's letterboxes. Sometimes the bookstores release them a little early. So lovely to see it arriving. Really, really lovely. I have been doing my own readings with the Rose Oracle for about a month now. And yeah, really developing a beautiful relationship with this deck. Many of you know that the rose has been, I would really call the rose my creative muse, more than anything. And it's also an ancient symbol of goddesses of old, a symbol of the sacred feminine, a symbol of the mysteries. I see the rose as really like a gateway for us to experience our soul deep in our bodies through our senses, through taste, through observing the beauty through all of the seasons. And yeah, so the rose, once you begin working with it, I think has really strong but also gentle medicine for us. I've been working with the rose since 2010. And yeah, there's been various different phases of that work. And last year, when I was working on this oracle, it really came to me the year before. So it was early 2020. And yeah, it took about a year to begin like properly embarking on it, finding the right illustrator, which is the lovely, she's Luminous, Katie Louise. And yeah, I met a lot of beautiful illustrators along the way as well, artists who, yeah, through the rose we connected. But in the end, it was Katie that was clearly meant to be the one to work intensely with me on the deck. And so we spent all of last year diving deep into the mysteries of the rose. And yeah, it was amazing. Such a beautiful process of briefing. Katie works very energetically, as do I. And so, yeah, we really found our groove. And sometimes I do a little video with a mood board for each card, and sometimes I do a voice note, and sometimes there was one card where I basically shared a chant and she kind of coded it into the card. So it's been such an incredible creative experience, as well as yeah, just a wonderful thing to work on and create. I feel very blessed and lucky, and I'm just really looking forward to seeing the rose. The way I kind of see working with the rose is, in many cases, and what I have witnessed is that she calls us and she has medicine that's very unique for each of us. Obviously everyone knows about the rose being a symbol of love and beauty. And for millennia, she's been used as like botanically and from like heart healing as well, both emotionally and physically. But what the rose really has shown me is, it is she's amazing for healing grief, of inviting us to keep our heart open when we are being stretched, when we are maybe experiencing deep sadness. That's when she first came to me in 2010 when I was going through a particularly difficult time. And yeah. So anyway, I share a lot about that in my in the guidebook. The guidebook's a lot more thicker than normal. And yeah, I had to kind of keep it at as much of a minimum as I could. I'm going to be I've got an event coming up. I haven't, it's not like released yet, but it will be in June, titled The Mysteries of the Rose. So you can learn a little bit more for that. And I'll also be, anyone who orders the Rose Oracle before end of next week, you'll also, if you pop in your email, you'll receive an invitation to attend the Rose Activation event, where I'll be beginning to share some of the Rose mysteries. Yeah, so that is a little bit about the deck. Someone said, "Do I have a favorite card?" Oh, I have a couple. I love this card, which is the Grandmothers, and that's my grandma, top right there. Yeah, you can order online if you just go to theroseoracle.com, you'll be able to find it. And if not, like through my profile link, you'll be able to find it on my website. So is it in Amazon in Spain? I'm not sure if it's on Amazon in Spain. It may well be. I know that the Spanish version isn't out until next year. So I'm pretty sure about that anyway. There's been a few different questions about that. I'm going to show a couple more of my favorite cards. Oh, there's so many. This is one I love, Codes of the Seeds. There's a few compared to what I've done in the past. There's a few more kind of like deeper, more mysterious cards. You know, obviously the rose is it's got the thorn in it, it's got the seed in the soil. So I just love this one. The blueprint is within you, take the next step. This card is all about really acknowledging that deep within us, even when we think nothing's happening in our life or we want things to move faster, to stay connected to the fact that within us we have those future rose gardens within us. And you can see this beautiful woman here in the seed, and all around her are these future roses that are waiting to be dreamed into being. So yeah, if you buy the deck, all you need to do is get your receipt number and pop it in the field on theroseoracle.com. And if you have any troubles, just email hello@rebeccacampbell.me. That's hello@rebeccacampbell.me, and yeah, my team will help you with it. I love this one. This is the reunion, which is all about I don't know if the light's kind of like showing that enough. Yeah, the light's making it a bit funny. It's really about it's the priestess card, the call within. So soul recognition, collaboration, partnership, friendship. What else do I love? This is a wonderful card, Sub Rosa. All right, I'm going to stop doing that and begin the readings, because you'll be able to see the cards anyway. And I know someone asked about the certified card reader course, which is 60% off at the moment. I'll get my team to pop the link here. So that's 60% off until Monday, I believe. So yeah, so if you want to learn to read cards and tarot and just like deepen your card reading skills, yeah, we'll pop the link in there. Or you can, of course, just head to my website for that. Yeah, okay, great. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pick someone for the live reading. So who would like me to pull a card? Oh, I got some jumpers. Okay, Siobhan. So this is a wonderful card here. It's called Trust the Seasons. And the subline is embracing change, cycles of life, transition, and growth. So this card really is about like embracing where you are, like in the inner and the outer. So obviously we know we go through outer seasons in our life, like through like winter, spring, summer, autumn. But we also go through outer seasons as in through phases of our life, as in through age. But then there's the inner seasons. And, you know, I've written a lot about, say, embracing our inner winter. When we are in the inner winter phase, we're not meant to be out in the world. We're not meant to be going a million miles an hour. So this is really about trusting where you are, trusting the season that you're in. Maybe if you're a creative, it's like be dedicated to creating the life's work, not just this one season that you're in. You know, that's how we get into burnout. It's a really beautiful card. You can see in the imagery we've got a woman through the different phases of her life as well. So yeah, really, really lovely card here. And I'm just going to pull up the meaning. There we go. Okay. Our disconnection from the earth and her seasons leads us to believe that we should be in full bloom all year round, that we should grow without leaving space to cut back. When we focus on the never-ending bloom, we forget the importance of all of life's phases. The rose, like all of nature, teaches us to embrace every day. She's forever showing us how to embrace the ever-changing seasons in an ever-changing world. We're not meant to stay the same. Relationships aren't meant to stay the same. Life isn't meant to stay the same. Nothing on this planet is meant to stay the same. The seasons teach us that. Night and day teach us that. Time and age teach us that. Birth and death teach us that. We may return to a place, a person, but things will never be exactly the same. For everything and everyone is forever changing. Nothing is static. The more we try to control things and keep them the same, the further away from the flow of life and ourselves we get. Change can be scary, for it means surrendering to the unknown, of being in the in-between. That's in-between is that, oh, it's that bit where we're like, oh, I'm not who I once was, but I'm also not who I'm about to be. To being not who you were and not quite who you'll become. It requires a trust in the transformation, in the death in order for the rebirth to occur, and a deep reverence for all the seasons of our life. The more we resist change, the further away we are from who we are becoming. When we embrace change, we embrace life and nature and are forever becoming. And then the soul inquiry with this one is, how can you embrace the changing seasons of your life? How can you embrace the changing seasons of your life? So absolutely embrace the unknown. That's exactly it. Okay, so let me know if you would like a reading here. And of course, like, remember this, these readings can be universal too. So holding that question in your heart. So Shauna Star. Oh, I love this one. This is the second bloom card. My light. I'm going to turn my light down a bit so it's easier to see. the second bloom. And yeah, this is like what comes after trust the seasons. So it's perfect order, because I think if we are able to surrender and trust to the seasons, trust to the being in the in-between, when maybe we're like, oh God, what's next? Then like we don't just force it and kind of like exhaust ourselves and put this pressure on, then the second bloom can come. So here we go. A common theme for today. This is a card of second chances, new beginnings, regeneration, and reinventing yourself. It's never too late to surrender to what is becoming, what is blooming within you. All that matters is that you surrender to the buds that are longing to grow and be known. No matter your age or what may have previously occurred, this card is it's the wrong way around. This card is an invitation to surrender to a second bloom, to welcome the new and share it with the world, to acknowledge the secret passions, longings, creations, and learnings, and to let them bud and bloom. If we properly allow things to end, new beginnings will always come. If we properly allow things to end, new beginnings will likely come. If we surrender to the cycles of life, after winter, spring will always return. If we tend the seeds in the fertile earth, they'll eventually emerge. Just as we think the season's over and winter's drawing near, some roses bless us with an unexpected second bloom. I love it when that happens. Perhaps you have a creation that's waiting to be brought forth, or maybe it's a new relationship or passion in your life. Maybe what's waiting to be born is a new version of yourself. The more open we are to change, the more open we are to life. The more open we are to life, the more open we are to being born again anew. Yes, this is what it means to be truly alive, to truly live, being open to saying yes to life. So when you eventually take your last breath, you will do so while still fully living. A soul inquiry, which you're all welcome to respond to in the comments if you want to voice it. What unexpected thing wants to bloom within you? What unexpected thing wants to bloom within you? So this is the second bloom. Okay. So, Rachel Pratt, a card for you. The Breathing Rose. This is such a lovely one. Heart healing, emotions, connection, time eases. So I'm feeling the reading it out today. It feels like it's all about the words. Often healing is a slow and steady process. It's complex, not linear. It takes as long as it takes. And most of the time, that's much longer than we'd wish. But like all things in nature, there's a mysterious intelligence to it. And if we trust it and let the vibrant petals fall to the earth, if we cut back what's no longer and protect the new shoots and buds from being pried open, we may find ourselves in a second bloom. See, it's all the same theme today. And fruit may just follow. You can't manufacture that. We must trust the great mystery in the process. The bud somehow manages to burst through the constraints by opening to life. All of nature has this intelligence within it. The challenge when we're going through a time of healing, which is another word for growth, transformation, change, is not to close ourselves off from the world when we most want to separate and shut down. to somehow find the courage to open through the agony, the difficulty, and the hurt. And when we feel safe enough, to let life soften us, not hard us, to deepen and cradle us. This is a card of deep healing. It will often come as a symbol of emotional healing that is in the process of happening. The mending's underway. Treat yourself and your healing with compassion, with understanding and gentleness. This is a card of deep encouragement that you're doing it. Time will ease everything soon. Soul inquiry. How can you treat yourself with gentle compassion and softness? How can you trust the timing of your healing? I mean, I think we can all relate to this one, where, we'd much prefer things to perhaps happen at a certain speed. But yeah, I'm really noticing how for most of all of today's readings, the individual cards I've read have been really about trusting the timing, trusting the process, of opening ourselves up to the fact that it might take longer than we want it to. But if we're courageous enough to surrender to change, surrender to those things that are falling away, surrender to the cracking open, surrender to the great mystery that's woven through it all, then, through the endings come new beginnings. And if we are able to end things properly, end things with compassion and reverence and open communication, then it's much easier to begin anew. So some really, really beautiful messages today, and I love it when the theme is woven through it all. So yeah, so if you would like to join my live activation event, it is on I think it's the 8th of March. All the details are at theroseoracle.com. The Rose Oracle is officially out next week. It's available for pre-order. I so appreciate everyone who has supported it so far. I'm very grateful. Yeah, and it's been beautiful to see those of you who have started receiving it early. Yeah, it's beautiful to see it out in the world. So thank you so much for joining me, and I look forward to sharing some more readings with you next week. Thank you so much.